Hello, everybody. We're back for another edition of Late Night with Cranky and Friends, and I am joined by Hasselhoff, the beautiful Hasselhoff, and she's also known on Twitter as Hassel_Hoft. Strange
I really
combination.
like how my name had like a question at the end.
well,
Hasselhoff?
well, it's.
What is what?
But we also have the pleasure of also introducing again another new co-host to the to Late Night, Roddy himself from Roddy Gaming. How
Thank
are you,
you.
guy? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm just looking at the stream, and I'm really happy that you zoomed in so close to my face.
Well, that's the best I can do. I can't get it any further away, so just shut up.
So I legitimately have my camera hanging on a lanyard on my wall so that I didn't have that same thing.
Good evening, Red. Good to see you, buddy. Hey, Nick. Good to see you. So we got to explain one thing here. Roddy, he lives in Denmark, and right now it is 5 o'clock in the morning or 6.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock in the morning. So he actually gets up at this time to help us do the show. And I think that's a pretty awesome thing. The rest of us are all like around midnight. And Moo Jack, thank you for hosting the stream. Greatly appreciate it, dude.
Nothing like a 6 a.m. beer, right?
Yeah, really.
Exactly.
Now,
Breakfast of champs.
we were bugging you before stream about the quality of beer that you are drinking, sir.
You
Because-
gotta take that up on stream.
Well, like, it's an important thing that we need to understand. Like,
Okay.
Carlsberg does not have the best reputation around the world. It might sell a lot, but it's
Well,
just...
so does Bush, but Bush is piss in a can. It's just cheap. You can get a 30 rack for like $20.
Maybe where you are.
Well,
You know what a case of beer cost, like a 2-4 of beer costs in Canada?
Wait, a what? A 2-4?
A 2-4, yeah.
2-4?
A 2-4.
No.
It costs close to $55 or $60 for a 2-4 of beer.
Yeah, no.
Kalendros, thank you very much. Yeah, Denmark does have amazing beer, but the Molen is not Danish.
What is it?
Pretty sure that's Dutch.
Oh, okay. Well, to go from one sort of intoxication-inducing thing to another of our favorite pastimes, depending on your preferences, one mother in Canada didn't buy a case of beer, but instead got herself $800 worth of pot when she went out and bought a Angry Birds game.
Score.
Right?
But
Did the news say anything about how much she paid for the game? I mean, did you pay $1,600 or something?
no, I have no idea what she paid for it, but she found 2 bags of marijuana in the game. But the thing is, she took it to the cops.
These dumb broads.
Stupid.
Like, really?
Like I said before, we've all seen enough of weeds to know what moms can do with that much marijuana. Just saying, that woman did not make the correct choice.
The price on the box was $5.99, and this was at Target.
So
mean-
who the hell is hiding their marijuana in Target? Like, I want to know who thought it was a good idea to just be like, I'm going to shove all of my marijuana in this game. Nobody's going to buy it, so, I can just go pick it up later. Like,
What she should have done, this mom here, is, take the marijuana, get her kids out, say, okay, kids, this is a life lesson. I want to teach you what drugs do to you. And she should have smoked the whole fucking lot. And just show them, okay, this is how mom reacts when she's effing stoned by $800 worth of pot.
She just lays there on the floor licking Cheeto dust from her hands. This is great.
Oh,
Somebody go make me a sandwich.
Red says he thinks he put money on it that it's in-house sabotage from a disgruntled employee, because apparently, now here's the thing, Target just, and this has got nothing really to do with gaming, but Target only really set up operations when they bought Zellers, and Zellers was a big mid-range chain of stores.
Your age is showing.
Yeah, I know, shut up. But Target bought them, and they, in our town, they've literally only had the store here for 4 years, I think it is. They took a year and a half to convert the Zellers into a Target. And now apparently they're shutting down their Canadian operation.
Oh, that's right. This is in Canada.
Yes.
So this actually isn't your age. Like, I was like, what the hell are you talking about Target being Zella something or another? But I forgot that you're in Canada. Yeah.
They bought out Zellers. They bought the chain. They put in Target stores in place of them, and now it says here that that are in the process of shutting down their Canadian retail operations. Maybe, I guess, they didn't sell enough drugs. They couldn't make a profit. Well, when you sell $800 worth of pot for $5.99, your marketing department is not doing their job, right?
Oh, that stupid woman.
Oh, God.
I mean, what would you do if you found, like, honestly, what would you do if you found $800 worth of marijuana?
Oh, I've got quite a few friends who would love to meet me afterwards.
Party at Crank's house.
Oh, no, I just say take it and get the fuck out of here, because I can't smoke it anymore anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
I'm pretty sure I'd put on a Santa suit, run down to the center of Copenhagen, just go, Merry Christmas!
And start tossing out joints. Here we go. Yeah.
We have a part of Copenhagen. Basically, I think it's called Pusher Street in foreign countries. But it's a small city inside the city where they openly sell marijuana, even though it's illegal in Denmark. The police have been trying to shut that place down for years, but it just every time the police goes there, everybody leaves. When the police leaves, everybody puts up their booths again. They have like signs and big booths, and they have it like organized and everything. And yeah, you just go in there, you buy a joint, and you go out again. Nobody can do anything really.
They need to set up booths around here. Like
move to Colorado or to Washington, or you'd be all set.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
And I would bet you any money that more and more states, because Colorado's rolling in the dough now.
Dude, they don't even know what to do with it anymore.
I know. Like they were
going to give it back to the people, and the people were like, you know what? Fix our schools.
Yeah.
Well, what the fuck? Marijuana is now fixing education. Way to go.
Bonus. Yes.
Right?
Soon it's going to be healthcare.
We do need healthcare.
Breaking news, Colorado got healthcare from weed.
We've been covering the whole SOE Daybreak debacle. Apparently, one of the other companies that one of the other games was part of SOE was Planet Side 2. Either of you played Planet Side 2?
No.
Raw?
Yeah, a little bit.
What do you think of it?
I do have it. I like it. It's fun, but yeah, not that fun. But I do have a comment to that whole SOE thing.
Yes.
Because I kind of stumbled upon a conspiracy. Well, I made the conspiracy myself. So at SOE Live last year, SOE had their Twitch channel get some emotes and stuff on Twitch, of course. And I'm going to put that in chat right now. So I'm just conspiring because if you take two of their emotes, it says soon fired. Dum, dum, dum.
It's a little foreshadowing for you.
Yeah, actually, I do want to get your take on the whole thing, because I know you were heavily involved in Landmark.
Yeah.
But I know this will make Karida very happy. I'm not even sure she's watching, because I think she's off playing with new controller or new game for her stream coming up. By the way, Raw, at any point you want, throw the link to your stream into chat so people can.
Karida is here too. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yes, Karida, you will be happy to hear Matt Higbee. He is who was the creative director on PlanetSide 2. He resigned as of today. He's gone.
Yep.
He on Reddit, Higbee said it was a time for change and that his exit from Daybreak wasn't exactly a spur-of-the-moment decision. This is a move I've been considering for a while now, he said, and the reorganization provided the right opportunity for me to exit. He's been serving as the creative director since 2011. He joined Sony Online in 2001. He said,
yeah. It's ass kicking
thank
time.
you, Empty Vials. What was it? PlanetSide is in great hands with terrific people who honestly care about the game and the players. I can't stress this enough. The folks working on every aspect of the game, developers, marketing, community, are talented, hardworking people who care more than you can imagine. I'm fully confident they were going to do an amazing job on the next leg of the journey down the tubes. Higbee noted later noted that making video games is a team sport and stressed that a lot of the team is still there, still working their asses off, and they need your support right now. I would agree. They do need some support, like money. But we've had some major people within Daybreak leaving. You've got Jorgensen's gone. The lady who is in charge of the global community head, she's gone. Now you've got Higbee's gone. And we don't know what positions the other ones that have already left. What does this bode for the company and for the games? More importantly, for the games.
I mean, Omid made a pretty good point while I was watching his stream the other day when he talked about this. He kind of said, the things they have the furthest in the future, if anything gets dumped, that's going to be it. So it's going to be really interesting to see what actually happens to EverQuest next. Because, the last thing I heard Dave say was that that's what they're going to be focusing on this year is EverQuest next. So they're not going to be putting...
How long have they been focusing on EverQuest next?
They haven't. They've been focusing on Landmark, which they are using to EverQuest next. So they're not going to be doing that many updates for Landmark in the coming year because they are going to be focusing on doing EverQuest next.
Well, I've said this, and I've got no problem saying it. As far as I'm concerned, Landmark is done. It's going to get rolled into the other products. It's as a standalone, it's done.
Yeah, somebody checked the other day how many people were online at the same time, so they checked all the servers. He found 526 people playing it at prime time.
Wow.
500 people at prime time.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well at all.
I mean, in the beginning, you could hardly get space on a server to put down your claim.
Yeah.
Now you can go to every freaking island and put down 9 adjacent claims.
9?
Yeah.
Because I know when I was playing, you could have what 3, 2 by 2, and then 1 up.
Yeah.
So it.
Now you can make 3 by 3.
Wow.
But yeah, the game is slowly but surely dying at the moment. People are leaving it a lot, and it's really sad because it's a fun environment. It's very creative, and people do a lot of stuff.
Well,
no, it's creative for people like you who understand it on like the most precise level. I was never able to create I just went out and I mined. That's what I did. I wanted to get the next level axe, and so I'd go out and I'd do my thing. That was all I managed to do. I think I took a square and I got rid of everything in that area once, and that's about as far as I got ever. And then I'd watch people like you who had fucking furniture and castles and shit, and I'm like, you know what? What is going on here? And that's me.
Well,
though.
I know you had a lot of hopes and plans built around, because you guys were going to be doing what is the Landmark University, where you're going to teach people how to use the game, how to create things, and you actually even had a working Q code in the game.
Yeah, QR code. Yeah,
Yeah, QR code.
still in there.
Now, Empty Vial says, but wasn't Landmark just a grab for SOE to take assets for use in Next for little to no work involved? No, it was here's the thing. In the beginning, it may have been. It was their tool set for building EverQuest Next. But then suddenly, some very clever people who weren't part of SOE discovered these new tricks that they could do with the environment. And SOE quite rightly said, wow, let's get this out there and make this part of the game and have Landmark on its own. And if by chance there is stuff that's created, because they always said to anybody that played the game, your creation could end up in Landmark in EverQuest Next, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like you're thinking Empty Vials. It wasn't just that sole intention, because they wanted Landmark, and I know Dave wanted it, and Omid wanted it. Like, Omid was a big believer in the game, for whatever dick he might be right now.
I gotta get me a coin.
Yeah, get me an Omid coin. But do you think that there is actually any hope for Daybreak? Is there? Did they even have a chance now? Like, because everybody in the company, I think right now, is pinning the hope on H1Z1. Am I right in that assessment?
You asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you.
I was just laughing. Ronnie just put his face in chat.
Oh.
I couldn't even handle it. And I think that's why both of us just kind of stopped for a moment. I can't even believe that's a thing. It's a thing.
Well,
anyway.
They wanted Landmark to be a sandbox game where you could explore and just kind of be creative and have fun like that. And Next was going to be the whole RPG part of it. The problem is, since they added monsters in Landmark, a lot of people have been fleeing from the game because they don't want to be facing monsters every time they go mining for resources, because resources is such a big thing in the game, and they have to get the resources to be able to build, and then they have to go killing a lot of monsters to get the resources now, and that pisses people off as well. So that was a really bad move. And
why did they do that? Why did they do that?
Because a lot of other people wanted, some more stuff in the game. I believe that 80% of people playing the game wanted monsters, and 20% didn't. Wait, the other way around.
Yeah.
So they thought it would be really cool. Also, I think they wanted to test out the whole combat thing, also for EverQuest Next. So they decided to put it in, and basically the way it was, you could run 60 feet and encounter a new monster every time. They were all over the place, so you couldn't move anywhere without getting attacked.
It's just oversaturation.
Mm-hmm.
And their concept of a combat was clunky as shit.
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
I remember when you and Dizzy had that, did that combat thing. Mm-hmm. It looked clunky as hell.
And it was laggy as hell as well. They have fixed that, though. The frame rates in the game right now is epic. It's the best it's ever been. I'm running 80 FPS in the game, even though I'm running on high graphics. So it's really working out well now with the old version of it. When we did the PvP thing, Dizzy was a slideshow to me.
Yeah. While we're on, I don't even know how to segue into what
Wait,
you... Okay.
Can I just want to know, because you mentioned Karaida being happy about Matt Higbee leaving. And I don't know why that was, what's the story behind that? Because I don't know.
From what I gather, and maybe Karaida can give more in chat, but he was basically responsible for the direction of PlanetSide, and a lot of people feel that the game's direction hasn't gone as the way it should, and they put the blame on Higbee's shoulders. They
Okay.
blame him for driving the game into the ground. Rightly or wrongly, I don't know. You know, like blame could go multitudes of ways around him. You know, he's on that letterhead. He's on that project. You know, letterhead. He's got the responsibility.
Well, that's what happens when you're in power.
Yeah.
It is on your shoulders. It doesn't matter who did it. Your name's there.
But while we're talking about, you know, mounting on people's shoulders,
I have to ask, with or without a skirt?
I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to Haas to try and explain what the fuck Mount Your Friends is.
I'm sure people have seen this game. I had never seen it before. And I probably stayed up much later than I needed to watching, I believe it was Elric M. and a friend of his. And you know what? It was a mixture of the game and the commentary that went with it. It is a very simple concept. You start with a goat. I don't know why, but there's a goat. And these little men come down, and they're like little puppets in banana hammocks, and their dongs are legitimately just swinging around. And you use the WASD buttons to kind of move, which is really awkward. So you have to move the body parts, and hands and legs each have a button. And you legitimately have an X amount of time to, like, mount the goat, and then the next person goes and they have to like get on. But it's just, you're grabbing on body parts, you're like essentially the fist up the goat's at, like, it is just the most ridiculous game. I was crying. I was laughing so hard when he was like, I'm just gonna do this and do a split and let my shit hang down so that you can grab it next time, so make sure you hold on to that. Like, it was the funniest, most lowbrow, amazing. Oh, we should show Cranky a vid, but we don't have it queued up. See, even Sim Maniac says it's amazing. Okay, it's hilarious.
One thing you did mention is, though, the game is about building the tallest tower of people.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me just I'll hit YouTube. Hang on, folks. I'm gonna just see if I can hit YouTube. And what's it called? Mount Your Friends?
Mount Your Friends. I am willing to go out and buy this if people will play it with me.
I'll play
Mount
with
Your
you.
Friends. Okay.
Let us mount each other, Roddy.
Let's
Cranky,
mount
would you
it
like
up.
to mount? Would you like us to
Yes!
mount you?
Valentine's Day success! I am getting mounted!
Yeah.
You discovered the all
Okay. Just give me a second here, and I'll get through this ad,
CAA
and we will.
and roadside assistance.
I don't know why I'm doing this. I really don't. But
Should I do an intro?
okay.
Like,
all right.
I'm almost afraid it might be a little too lowbrow for you, but
Get
you
the
have a
fuck
sense of
out of
humor.
here!
I don't know. When we were playing Cards Against Humanity, I don't know if it was because you didn't want to play or if you just weren't interested, but I was like, I hope he doesn't think we're being childish right now.
No, I just was not interested in playing it.
Hey, I'm being childish on a regular basis.
I'm working on getting this, folks. Just give me a second here. I gotta do some quick.
Sorry, I didn't prepare him for that.
No, you didn't, and I will make you pay for that. You know, I really will. I'll make you. I'll make you pay. Okay, and alrighty, hit.
Hassel,
edit,
it sounds like you need to
and-
mount Frankie instead of me.
Okay. All right. So here we go, folks. We have it up. Let's just watch a few minutes of it, and we will.
Do you want to do an intro?
I don't care.
Of course, we had to go with PewDiePie with this. Okay.
It's whatever.
I'll keep that. As
Let's
an
see
intro.
if he makes it worth it, because, like I said,
so
huge part of
welcome
it
back
was the
to
commentary
Cranky
for me.
Me and Ken
Just
played
the
this
banter
long
back
ago.
and
We were
forth.
first.
Yeah, we were number one when it's on Xbox.
I don't remember, but I think like Nova played it like literally right after.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
such a
he's-
message.
I think he,
Enough of the
it.
chit
So I actually
chat.
heard that the penis dangling
Yeah.
was just a bug, and
Really?
he thought it was so funny that he went with it.
Look at
How is
that
that a bug? Is that
doggo.
supposed to be a leg or something?
I don't think it was supposed to be dangling like a ragdoll that much. I think
Why
it
am
was,
I not seeing this?
I think he had a little dangling intended. You know,
Is
Yeah,
it
it's
not?
it
not-
has to be real.
It's not playing in
That
our
makes- it makes the whole
video
game.
thing. I started watching it on the stream.
It is
Yeah,
the game.
I don't have it
And
shared.
praise
Okay.
the fuck out of this game.
worries.
Like people are just like, this game is the shit.
I think they're mesmerized by the twirling of the penis.
Kind of reminds me a little bit about
it's just weird to me how,
Psy
like, people
Gangnam
are
Style.
criticizing.
You could probably get that.
It says you
Are they
can
gonna
emote it,
play,
but
or are they
it's-
just gonna
I can-
watch them all
it's
dance in the
probably-
lobby?
No,
There.
no, here we go. Here we go.
It's an egg. Don't worry.
Dangle,
I
dangle.
promise. I don't know. She has this weird thing with eggs and putting them in her panties. There we go. You're
I think one of
welcome,
the
though.
comments Elric
I
said
wanna
last
get-
night was something
I wanna
along
get
the
a good
lines
grip
of
here. That's a
he was
good
talking about
start.
Valentine's
Oh,
Day,
shit.
and then he was like,
Sorry for
"Yeah,
being terrible.
this is definitely one of
Does this
those,
game
you
get
know,
harder, or am I
perfect
just,
for
like, did I get worse? 'Cause I'm
Valentine's
not
Day and your
being
loved
this
ones, you know,
I don't
and
know.
mount your
There
friends."
we
And I was
go.
like, "Because nothing says love like mount your friends and loved
I can see your
ones." Like
nipples.
Don't
it.
say that to my girlfriend, please.
I mean,
We're
why not?
going to the right, not straight up.
What does that mean?
To the right, past the white line.
Oh, but we still have to touch the goat.
Yeah.
Oh, this is hard, man. This is
You must touch the goat.
okay.
You must touch
let
the
me
goat.
Put one right in there. That my foot will go right in. God damn it!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look
I'm
who
over
it is!
Yeah.
Get that face right up in there.
Ding dong! You see what I'm going for, right? You see what I'm going for, right?
Put a foot on it.
Put.
Oh, no!
Damn! That is really fucking annoying. It's.
Come on, Matsuya.
Okay, I'm trying.
Oh Lord.
So
Put-
this
yes.
this is mount,
Yes.
mount your
This
friend.
is
Once-
epic music.
That's
Don't
all it
put your
is.
face
It
there,
is
please.
so
Oh, It
simple.
happened.
The D is on the
I
D.
can watch
D
for
is
hours.
on the D.
If
What?
that's not weird, it might be a little weird.
Oh, all right.
Just,
Yeah, you did it.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
you get like your ass in someone's
I
face,
made-
and
you
that's
made
all it
that.
is.
You made it like
have
that.
to cross the line, whether the line's
Of course
going
I
up or
didn't.
over.
Yeah, look at that fish.
You have to be
You're
able to
a
like
fish.
You like that?
stabilize your guy
I didn't know you could customize the junk.
and just keep going, and it just
Yeah,
gets
I didn't
ridiculous.
actually customize them like
You
this.
can customize the junk.
Any
I
game
didn't
where you
know
can
that.
customize your
Yeah, he's
junk
got a
is
fish.
a good game in my book.
It's a good game. Yeah.
Notice how like the goat he painted outside.
He's got a
the frame.
fish.
Like, he just-
You might want to get that
Spent
checked.
so much time working
I'm
on the
just
junk
saying.
that
Oh,
I'm not sure that.
we really haven't
He's
progressed
dancing?
to the right.
he's dancing.
We're like barely even out there.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Let me leave the
Oh.
fish out there for you.
Oh, thanks. Matsuya!
So are you saying
all
if
you
I bought
have.
you a banana hammock in the
Apparently I
shape
have one team
of a
consistent
fish,
of a
you
lot of
wouldn't
my
wear it
friends.
then?
No.
When you were making your team, were you hitting
No,
that?
okay. That's just that's enough. That's
See
just
what I mean?
that's just no.
Oh, of course I would find this game. You're right, Veg. You
So-
know, I was innocently playing SimCity with Elric, okay? We were working on a region, and all of a sudden he was just like, let's go mount our friends. And I was like, what is he talking about? And I escape out of the game, and I start watching, and that was it. That was what I did for the rest of the time I was awake. I even laid down, couldn't sleep, got back up, and he was still playing it, so I started watching it again at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. So
So
this is what I would do spending my time alone in my apartment.
so. Oh, shit. No,
I would mount my friend.
I do not want to know anymore. No, I do not want to know anymore. So, Roddy, is this a game you're going to stream?
Maybe. I
Come
do have to
on.
say though that they have just announced that a guy has been killed in Copenhagen. Now there's been a third shootout where the police killed a man.
Fuck, man. Is it the one that they thought was the suspect?
They haven't said. They are now investigating if he was behind the shootings. I mean, the police is all over Copenhagen with machine guns at the moment, everywhere.
Wow.
They have locked down the center of Copenhagen, but yeah, this is the third shootout in Copenhagen in less than 24 hours.
Wow.
Do they have any idea of a motive behind all of this yet, or is that just speculative?
Yeah, the first shooting was at a blasphemy conference. I don't know what that is, but it was basically some meeting where they talked about blasphemy and, drawings and stuff like that. Drawings is really dangerous, kids. So if you do drawings, you might get shot. I'm just saying. So yeah, they were talking about drawings, and somebody opened, I think, 30 or 40 shots into the window of that conference. Then about 7 hours later, they shot at a synagogue in Copenhagen, in basically the center of the party street. There's like this big area where everybody parties. So people got locked into bars and clubs, and the police basically secured the entire area and locked down the entire center of Copenhagen, so nobody could get in or out. And now there's been another shooting, actually quite close to where I work. And yeah, they shot and killed a guy.
So it sounds all religious. It's all religious based because blasphemy.
Politically, yeah.
That's just ridiculous. Not to take away from that, but when it comes to Mount Your Friends, you can get a 4-pack for $9.89 Canadian.
We're all gonna mount
That
each other.
switch,
It's
though.
gonna happen.
There we go.
I mean, sorry, Roddy. I think
okay.
we're just trying to find light in a heavy.
Yeah, but Mount Your Friends is not the kind of light that I was thinking of.
No,
Roddy,
okay,
I will stream
seriously.
Mount Your
It
Friends
is-
with you.
Yeah, we'll do that. I mean, I am just, sad for the people that get hurt in these situations.
Yeah.
But I get really angry at seriously, guys with guns, stop using guns, play computer games instead. It's much more healthy.
Yeah.
That's bottom line.
Now, if we really want to get mad, I have the perfect target. And that is Star Citizen again. Because they've decided that the Cloud Imperium Games have revealed a new rental equipment credit scheme for Star Citizen. Right? Now, as they say, to be clear, Star Citizen is not going to be ready for retail release anytime soon. Duh! It has, we're what, 4 years in now?
Okay, I was going to ask that. This is the game
Yeah.
that has been promised, and you can buy ships for like thousands of dollars. This is that game.
Yeah, and there's one ship you can actually buy for $10,000, and it's sold. Digital ship, $10,000. Real money. What the fuck? Anyway, it will be, let's say, it will be spending the next few months, if not a few more years, in alpha. A few more years in alpha. By the time they fucking put it into fucking beta, it's gonna be old hat. And if you're expecting
It's already old hat.
well, yeah. But as I say, at this juncture, the game resembles a free-to-play, or rather a freemium game, because of the structure of reward tiers and marketplace items. Players are expressing concerns that this structure has created a pay-to-win situation. What, you're just coming to that conclusion now? Like when you can spend 10 grand on one of the only, ships, and it's a top-of-the-line ship, I call that pay-to-win. Right? That's point blank. But anyway, players concerned, and as is clear now, this was not intended, and so the need for rental equipment credits. The rental equipment credits will allow alpha players to rent ships and weapons during the alpha period. Of course, this arrangement balances need for higher tier backers to feel rewarded without making it too hard for lower tier backers.
Can we just go tell these people to go fuck themselves and just forget it, that they even existed? Can we do that?
What do you like? How much money does this company need? It's already got close to $50 million of free money. There's no obligation on the company's behalf to even bring a product to market. This is all donations, folks.
I'm gonna say, as long as they can keep it going, they will.
That's very true. That is, yeah, wow. I don't know why that simple statement just kind of blew me away a little, but it kind of did.
Well, yeah, I agree with you, Roddy, but here's the thing. At what point do these alpha backers turn around and say, look, we want a fucking game. We paid for a game. We gave you large amounts of money for a game, a complete game, not a module here and a module there, but a complete game. We're like almost 4 years in now.
I mean, take Goddess as an example. I mean, Goddess got a lot of money in Kickstarter, and they created that game halfway done, I'd say, and then they decided, we got a lot of money. Let's do another project with that money as well. So they took money that was intended for Goddess and decided to put that into new development for a different game and moved basically almost the entire team that was working on Goddess into a new game. I mean, Citizen could easily do that as well, and people would get upset, but can they do about it? Not really anything.
That's just it, Calendros. They didn't. And I guess that's part of the problem, is that they didn't, at least not that I remember. They've never given it, like, they've always said, like, what was it, last year at PAX? One of the PAX, I think PAX West or whatever, they were going to do this great big reveal of their combat module where you could, have one-on-one combat with other pilots. It didn't run. They had, it did eventually, but it took a lot of work and they had a lot of problems. What is it? Axthor says, and I kind of agree with him. Let's all forget about Star Citizen and jump ship to No Man's Sky. And if you've seen anything to do with No Man's Sky, it looks fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, I am really, really looking forward to that game.
Like, am I?
Now I gotta Google it.
Yeah, am I correct in this that it's procedurally generated worlds?
Yes. What they did with No Man's Sky, what they are doing is they have created like a mathematical string where a computer, calculates everything. It's really, really technical and advanced. But for example, if the computer says, I'm going to create this planet and it's going to have these types of plants, if those plants are there, that will make the basis for this type of animal to live on that planet. So you can fly around your spaceship in that massive, massive world. They are saying that it's so huge that even though you play it with your friend, there's a chance that even though you play it for years, you won't find each other in the game. Well, that's how big it's going to be.
And here's the other thing. If you're still waiting for, Star Citizen, I got a suggestion. Elite Dangerous. Problem solved. Because Elite Dangerous is exactly, as far as I can tell, is pretty much what Star Citizen has always bragged about being. An open space simulator. With, unlike Eve, which is very plottish. I don't know if that makes sense, but it doesn't have that same feeling of mobility that Elite Dangerous has, or there's another one too out there that's coming along, but I can't remember what its name is. But they say that the Elite Dangerous universe is so huge, so absolutely huge, that it would take close to 11,000 years for one person to go to explore every single section of that universe.
Wow. I think it's kind of the same with No Man's Sky, but what really tricks me with that game is that new life, new animals, new types of animals is going to be appearing every time, and you can find species that nobody has found before, and then you can actually get you can take that achievement and you can name these animals that you find if nobody has found them before, which is going to be quite interesting.
I first heard of No Man's Sky, I guess it was about 6 months ago I first started hearing about it. And even then, and all you really had was screenshots, it looked absolutely gorgeous, and it's like you look like you're on an alien planet. Everything is just not what you would expect, because we're conditioned that if you're on an alien planet, it's either going to be very similar to ours, or it's going to be extremely barren, or we have our preconceived notions of what an alien planet would look like. Whereas with No Man's Sky, those preconceived notions are right out the window. And I gather now it's because of that mathematical string that they've used within the game. But I am so tempted, if I can at some point, I would love to pick up Elite Dangerous. Because to me, that looks like it could be what Star Citizen has always bragged it wanted to be. And we're still waiting for it to happen. And you can actually play the game now. Yeah, apparently there's still some slight problems with it, but hey, at least it's a product that you can actually do something complete in it. Have you seen or have you played Elite Dangerous at all, Roddy?
No, I'm looking at pictures from it right now, and it looks quite interesting. Maybe I should pick that up and go ahead and start streaming it.
Graphically, it is gorgeous.
It is, yeah.
It is an absolutely gorgeous game, graphically wise.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just found the pictures.
Yeah, it's like if I had the spare money, I would probably pick it up and I would be playing it, because that just, I don't know, I like what I've seen so far of it, and I haven't heard that much negative about it. So I don't know, it's one thing that's caught my attention. Another one that caught my attention today, and if you're old enough, you will remember the original Carmageddon's series.
Yes.
Thank you, Dizzy, for hosting. I appreciate it, bud. Carmageddon was one. It came out at the same time around, what was it, Mech Warrior? The Mech Warrior series, I think it was called, where you basically played as these great humongous robots battling in alien worlds. But Carmageddon was just a free-for-all.
1997.
I love Carmageddon. I mean, driving that car, just slaughtering everything.
But what I didn't realize was that there was a rebirth of it. And what is it? Stainless Games today launched the Death Racer's first beta version, meaning it's now the whole game with all its modes, cards, levels, and a little unpolished. Yes, this does include multiplayer. Murdering your pals seems fair enough way to spend Valentine's Day. That works for me. So yeah, it's called Carmageddon Reincarnation. Stainless explains that the shift to beta means Reincarnation has a career mode, free play, and multiplayer, all its wacky modes, and a full complement of cars, levels, and arenas. It's still in early access, but this is a big step closer to launch, as they say with all early access. Did you ever play the original Carmageddon, Roddy?
Yes, I played the heck out of it.
That was
and I think it was like 6 months ago I heard about them doing a new thing, but I actually didn't know that it was out already. I have to buy this game now, and I have to start streaming this right after the show. That's
right now.
Confirmed.
Like if he stops talking, he's out buying this game.
Yeah,
I am doing it right now, actually.
See? And I thought you would be this excited about mounting your friends, but apparently you'd rather just run people over.
Yeah.
It's Valentine's Day.
Well, yeah, run over the ones you love. How better way to show you love them than run them over?
You know what, Hasselhoff? I'm running them over for you.
Aww.
Yeah. I actually have another game that I'd like to bring up. I'm not sure if you heard of it, either of you, but Identity.
No.
Dun dun. Okay, I've seen. I've backed this game on Kickstarter. That's the only game I've ever backed on Kickstarter. Basically, what they're creating is a open world game where everybody has their own identity. They are trying to put as much freedom into this game as possible. I mean, they are going all in on this. You can become the mayor of the city. You can be a police officer. You can be a criminal. You can buy a little house in, way out in the swamps, and you can start your own cocaine production or weed production. And, if you're in good friends with the mayor, you could actually have the mayor allow for cocaine sales and then, make it legal. And they're trying to build there's a lot of property in the game. You can basically buy every apartment in the game and have that as your own, and you can, upgrade it, redesign and stuff like that. And not two people can own the same apartment. So it's like real life. If you have the apartment, somebody has to buy it from you. Drive around. You can be a truck driver. You can drive merchandise for somebody who creates clothing and drive it to the shop and unload it, and it sounds so immersive and so extreme. That is one of the games I'm really
I was going to say,
for.
if I hate my life and I don't want to think about it, I could actually really just be someone else, essentially.
Yes.
It sounds like Altus life.
Actually, I believe the guys that is making Altus Life for Arma 3, it's a mod, right?
Yeah.
Some of the same guys are working on Identity.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains that. Yeah. Okay.
But they're making it a standalone game, and the graphics looks gorgeous, and I mean the whole idea of having a game like that. I mean, I've played Second Life a lot many years ago. But it was really wonky and stuff. I mean, taking a game, basically what they're going to do is make a game that seems, it's working seamless like GTA 5, but adding all these MMO features into it. I'm really looking forward to that game.
Well, while you're looking forward to that game, we're going to take a 5-minute break. I got to, fill up the pop glass. I got to get out a couple milk bags to show Hasselhoff. And
let him finish purchasing Carmageddon.
Yeah, gotta let Roddy finish, getting his Carmageddon fix for later today. And we will be back in 5 minutes. Thank you, K-Dog, for following. And like K-Dog, if you like what we're doing here, you want to show your support, you haven't followed us yet, hit that follow button. Let us know we're doing something good here and you're enjoying yourself. But until then, turn the music up a little bit. We'll take a 5-minute break, and we'll see you in 5, folks. And we're coming back at you. I'm not sure if that was 5 minutes or not. While we're talking about, before I go any further, I've got to do this because Haas, she said to me this morning, I hear you unveiled the great Canadian milk bags, and I wasn't there.
I was legitimately angry at you for like a split second. I was like, no fucking way.
Well, so to make my beautiful co-host happy, here is what is a bag of milk. All right?
It looks like a bag of salt.
And you then have an individual bag. Okay? So that's what a bag of milk is. And then what you do is you take it and you put it into a container. So, see...
That seems like an unnecessary extra step.
Well, what can I say?
Like, mine comes in a container, open, pour. You have to take said weird sack of milk out and put it in a container so that you could actually use said sack of milk. Maybe slap it a little. I don't...
How do you close it again if you don't want to drink the entire bag?
Does the milk go bad?
No, you're only looking at what? Just over a quart of milk.
Oh, it's itty bitty.
Yeah.
Well, still, I don't drink that much milk.
I don't drink that much either.
I don't either. But this is how many liters is this supposed to be? 4 liters in 3 bags. So you do the math because I'm not. Anyway, while we are talking about beautiful games, there's one that I came across, and it's called Eru's Awakening. And we do have a video of it. And why won't you go away, you piece of crap? I don't want that up there. All right. Anyway, it's called Eru's Awakening. AARU apostrophe S Awakening, and it's coming to the PC in February. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and play the trailer for it. It's a launch trailer, and you guys let me know.
A long time ago, a champion arose from his slumber. His actions would change the world for all eternity. This is a story of Eru's awakening.
Ooh.
What is that thing?
Now, it's a side scroller.
No, I meant like that character thing. It looks...
I'm so fascinated. It's... what? It looks squishy. I mean, that's about as far as I can get for you.
Kind of look like something that's in the pants of Mount Your Friends.
I really like that.
Yeah, that now their blurb on that. Let me just get rid of that screen. Eru's Awakening is tough as nails. And it's a hand-drawn platformer, starring a mythical teleporting beast. Will be available February 24th on Steam for Windows, Mac, and Linux. The game is as fun as any recent side-scrolling adventure. Eru's Awakening stands out on account of its beautiful artwork. Traveling through the Luminex, defeating evil, players will dash, teleport, and no doubt become incredibly frustrated at the accuracy and timing required to nail Eru's landings. It's very much a game for the platforming enthusiast, and one that we're glad to see going across all the different platforms. What do you think? It's apparently, I guess it's going to be on for like a 15% launch discount when it hits. So, what do you think? Does that I'm not a side-scrolling fan. The last side-scroller I played was Captain Keen. That was it. So that tells you how long ago I played a side-scroller. Probably some people don't even remember what that game was. Does this kind of game interest either one of you, and what about it is what appeals to you?
I think the biggest thing for me is it's like the fucking artwork is amazing. I am a sucker for anything that looks like nothing I've seen before, and I could be the kind of person who would play a game not knowing anything about it just from that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and as far as side scrollers go, it doesn't really matter to me either way. Like I don't really have. It's kind of what I would enjoy playing is what I'm going to play. It doesn't matter what kind of game it is. So I don't know.
Just a note: if you want to give me a message, either one of you, I'm gonna have to do it in TeamSpeak because if I move any of the windows to show the text, it's going to put us all off screen. So that's just how this works with the screen capture. What about you, Rod? What's your feeling on the game?
No.
You don't like it?
No.
That was pretty emphatic.
Yeah, like you didn't even hesitate.
No, it looks like nothing that I would spend time on. But that's because that is not my kind of game. I'm not gonna comment on a game that doesn't pique my interest because it's in a genre that doesn't really fit the games I like. So I decide to stand neutral and go no comment. I mean, credits to them hand drawing everything. I appreciate that. That tells me that they are actually putting some heart into this game, and I appreciate that. But with that said, it's not a game that appeals to me.
It doesn't appeal to me either. But by the way, thank you, Wildman, for the follow. It's much appreciated, dude. And like you, I can appreciate the art style. I love, it's not an art style I want to be playing a game because I don't even like the art style for things like Don't Starve or that Bad Acid Trip Binding of Isaac. They just aren't my style of games. Partly due to the art style, so I can understand that. But do you think that what's gotten you laughing?
Veg just called you old Doc Brown. I'm sorry. Well, because Wildman, it's like that moment when you see Cranky for the first time after listening to him for a year. And I was like, right? Because it's weird seeing people you've never seen before. Like, I'm sure people tuned in to see, like, what Dark Devil and, Abra look like. Because nobody knows.
Yeah,
it's like one of those things. So, I don't know, it's funny.
Yeah.
They called you old Doc Brown.
Do you think we're going to see more of these type of games, like, along the lines of artistic-based styling rather than...
that real ultra-realistic type.
I hope so, because at least it's not a zombie game.
Are you tired of zombie games too?
I am so tired of
I thought you play zombie games. I thought that...
I do, but I'm still tired of them. I mean, I did play Dying Light. I do play H1Z1, even though, every second person you meet is a hacker. I'm just tired of some games. What I really want to see game developers do is games that, is less violent, more about, just having fun in a different environment. for example, like Identity. I know that there can be criminals, but it's a different setting. I mean, I feel like all the games that are coming out at the moment is, you know, about blowing things up, destroying things, and killing things. I would like to, you know, see more games where you actually get challenged in a different way. For example,
okay?
For example, Off-World Trading Company. I just got that game today, and that's a different approach. I mean, you manipulate the market, you collect resources, and you buy out your competitors. I mean, I've had some fun with that already.
I know that one's coming out of Stardock, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it is, or at least they are involved in the project. And one of the designers of Offworld was a lead designer in Civilization 3, and the head designer, project designer for Civilization 4. So you can kind of see where it's got. Does it have that feeling of a Civilization game when you're playing it, Roddy?
Yes and no, because the Civilization games are not really that fast-paced. And Off-World Trading Company is really fast-paced, actually. You have to do quick reactions. You have to react to the market when things go up. You can get like hackers to manipulate market prices of different resources that you have a lot of. And when they actually go through with the hacking and the prices start rising, you need to sell at the right time. So you have to manage a lot of things at the same time and do things really quickly. When you start off in the game, you have to like reveal some of that planet you just landed on. And you have to find the right spot for your base that is close to the right resources that you want for that type of colonization that you have. And you have to do that before the enemy does it. Because if they pick the right spot and they start grabbing those resources, you're pretty much doomed. So you have to really... It's very fast-paced. I just saw that the Rain asked me a question about Identity. He says, how do you think Identity will help control the trolls that want to ruin the open world sandbox experience for everyone else? There's going to be public servers, but you can also get your own private server where you kind of set the rules. I'm pretty sure that you'll be able to just kick people out if they are not, you know, playing according to the way you want the game to be played. So I think that's the way it's going to be. Yeah,
that's pretty well standard for any independent, multiplayer game that you're running off of a server. You have your public servers where the assholes will reside, and you have your private servers where the people that just want to enjoy playing the game and pushing it to its limits. That's where they'll be. And every once in a while, when you want to slum, you'll head down to the public servers, because that's pretty much what like we saw the same thing happen with Rust.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think of some of the other games that happens. Like it happens with a lot of you cannot get rid of the trolls and the assholes unless you start right from the very, very beginning. And I come back to this show. The first couple nights when we were broadcasting, we had to tromp down really hard on the chat because we had women co-hosts. You know how
Sorry, my tits aren't out.
Yeah, so the same thing. Here's the thing: if they wanted to, with these public server type games, Identity or Altus Life or Rust, if they wanted to, could they not control those better so that the assholes and the trolls couldn't really gain a footing? Or is it just it's too much of a job to do it and say fuck it?
I mean, there's trolls because there's people to be trolled. I mean, when people try to troll me, I just kind of don't care. I don't react to it, and then it gets boring for them. I mean, if more people did that, there wouldn't be as many trolls. I mean, I had a guy come into my stream the other day, and the first thing he said in chat was like, you suck. So I just permabanned him. I don't care.
Yeah.
there's going to be trolls as long as there's people that are able to be trolled. So I don't think you can do anything in terms of age regulation or other stuff like that.
Okay, well, here we've got what is it? The Dark Hado. I'll just call you the Dark. He says he loves trolling these kinds of games. Why? Why? What is it about the trolling that makes, even though you know that it's making the game less enjoyable for other people? So, like, take a minute. Like, there's a 30-second delay, the Dark, but give us a brief explanation as to why that is such a part of your joy of playing those games. Because I would really like to know. Because
I almost feel like there's a fine line, though, because I've seen people troll other people in these games on stream, and it's been funny. It wasn't like just absolute, hi, I'm an asshat, I'm just gonna ruin your experience right now, or at least I don't think so. And I've enjoyed watching it, but I see Veg just said it depends on the type of trolling, I guess. Because all I can think about is, the whole Atlas magic trick thing, or, Abra launches into the fucking helicopter and stuff. Like, those things come to my mind, not particularly, but maybe it's because I don't play a lot of these games where I would have to experience it on a regular basis, so I don't see that, like, I know it exists, but that whole douchebaggery thing that happens, I personally don't get into games that have a lot of that.
Okay, the Dark says it's not harassment. His type of trolling, it's not to harass people. I think his type of trolling would be like the Ross and his magic trick, or Abra and his taking out the helicopter with the truck flying through the air. So yeah, like Calandro says, sometimes the Dark says sometimes I just go and do funny things to random people. Or if you have destructible buildings, it's like, what happened if I broke this? Okay.
So I guess we have to define trolling if we're going to ask that question, or make it clear what we're talking about. Because there's a difference.
See, I don't call what the Dark is doing. I don't call that trolling.
Yeah.
I do not call that trolling. I think it's a lazy use of the word. Go ahead, Ra.
Yeah, to me, when you see like bad trolling, where trolling is with the intent to annoy another people to either rage quit or get really, really angry, because that's the reaction the bad trollers want. They want a reaction. It's because they don't have enough balls to go down to the street and find a guy and say, "Yo, you look fucking ugly, dude," because that's the same thing they want. They want to. They're scared of that reaction, but they can't get that reaction on the internet. They can basically just get people screaming and get people angry. I don't know what they get out of it. I really don't understand the whole psychology in pissing off people. But for example, take the FPS games. I believe it's Call of Duty or something, where you can trap a guy in a corner and they can't move. They can't go anywhere. I've seen videos on YouTube where people just constantly block people in a corner, and that's just annoying. It's not funny for anyone. But take Landmark, for example.
I've had that.
I have trolled people in Landmark because if they go AFK, what I would do is I would quickly, if I had the claim, I would build a cage around them. When they come back, ha ha ha, you're locked in a cage. That's really funny. But I would, I would delete that cage again. So it's I'm not pushing it too far. In Arcade, for example, you can put out your horse and you can then despawn the horse and it will run away and then it pushes people. So you can push people into funny locations. That's to me that's funny trolling. But doing stuff just with the purpose to annoy people, to get them upset or angry, that is the bad trolling in my opinion.
I want to make thanks for the two people. I missed the first one, but Mooing, thank you for the follow, and to the person who followed just prior to you, thank you very much. Like I said, I don't see what the Dark does as trolling. I see that as having fun, enjoying one's, bringing a sense of humor to the game, which there is nothing wrong with. But when it gets to, like, you said, Roddy, where it's like the whole point is to make people angry or want to just take their keyboard and go, yeah, that's not cool. But you can't really stop it, though, can you?
No.
Although Nick just said trolling is basically fun for the person doing it. That's trolling. So in theory, it's like these people who are causing these maddening, angry, like it's fun for them. So does that, I don't really understand.
Trolls are not different. Well, trolls are the bullies of the internet. I don't think you can say it any different.
No.
Except they're, in most cases, tiny, skinny, redhead dudes that can't really do anything to anyone in real life. I know that's, pushing it to the limit, but you said this is an unpolitically...
Yep.
So, and no offense to everybody out there with red hair. I just, people who troll other people, this is my personal opinion. I do believe that they have some sort of mental issue. Dark had a really good point there. He said it's probably some sort of a control thing. But why would they want to have that sort of control if they were balanced human beings that, felt good about themselves, that were all right? If I feel good about myself, I don't need to go out and do stuff to other people to make me feel even better. So I think it's a mental issue. I truly believe that everybody who is trolling, and again, I have to state in the bad way, where you intentionally try to piss people off and make them feel bad about something. They have issues, and they should probably look into that. So yeah.
One of the things I don't know how many of the shows you've caught it already. But one of the things we've been covering is the recent or the increase in people being caught in esports for throwing matches, fixing matches, betting on those things. There was an article today. I can't remember who it was off. It was called "Face Off: Is Betting Bad for Esports?" And basically, it was the two executive editors of whatever this post was. Let me just see if I can get this. Hang on. PC Gamer. It's for PC Gamer. And you got to admit, these two dudes look like the typical gaming nerds, don't they? Like, I can't believe they look like that. Anyway, I'll throw the link in chat because it is an interesting discussion. But they basically argued the pro and con of betting on like CSGO. We'll just use CSGO matches as an example. Okay, where people are making bets, and what their winnings are like, skins for guns that are worth a couple $100 or $1,000 or whatever. The one person says that the risk to their reputation and their career in this budding marketplace or sport venues isn't worth fixing it, and that we should not be having betting around these matches. And the other one says, yes, we need, it's competition and bets go hand in hand. You can't have one with the other, it seems. What's your feeling on Roddy on betting in games like this? Is it something that should be just basically told, no, you can't do it? Or should the betting be, the people actually in the matches be excluded from ever being able to bet?
If they do match fixing, then I would say, then then they should be blocked. They should not be allowed to do it. Match fixing is probably not any different than, counting cards at a casino. I mean, it's cheating. And people will lose money when there's match fixing involved, and other people will gain. So definitely a bad thing.
Oh,
What?
sorry. No, he brought the cat out.
Oh, look at that. I'm surrounded by pussies.
Hairy ones.
Yes. Very
Not
hairy.
very
Troll Cranky.
What do you think, Haas? The larger question, and I'll come back to Roddy on this. Should there be betting at all around esports?
Yes.
Okay, Haas, what's your thought? Should people be allowed to bet on esport competitions?
I wouldn't see a reason not to. But the fact that they're the cheating that exists, like that, just the whole rigging, the whole system, like if that doesn't come under control, it's kind of like, what the fuck's the point? You know what I mean? Betting, the dark, like betting is fun. It adds a whole nother element to the game experience. So,
I mean, for me, take a random soccer game. 2 teams, I don't know them. If I put money on one of the teams where I can win something, I instantly I love that team, with my entire heart. I want them to win, so I get some money. And that's where I think betting is good. Of course, there's people that can't handle betting, but that's their own issue. If I were I've seen some streamers play against each other, do some sort of betting where people can actually bet real money. I believe there's a whole Twitch betting system as well for a specific game. I can't remember what it was. It retains viewers, and it makes the actual match even more interesting. So I think betting is a good thing. I believe in esports. Betting is here to stay, and on many of the official betting companies in Denmark, you can actually on their website select a category called esports, and you can bet on different esports games and tournaments.
Really?
And I think it's just going to spread. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. I don't really care either way. Because in all honesty, you cannot stop betting. It's going to happen whether you allow it or you say you're not allowing it. It's human nature. We love to bet on who's going to win anything.
Yeah.
It could be, who can drink a Pepsi the fastest, me or you. I'll put $5 on me. You name anything, and a human being will bet on it, on the outcome. So to turn, I think that the discussion these guys were having is a little facetious, because look, no sport is pure. I don't give a shit what you want to, baseball, football, basketball, esports, poker tournaments. No sport is pure. It always has those elements within it that will try and manipulate it so it can win bets, large bets. So why not just acknowledge that it's there and let it, like you do in Denmark? You can go down to your betting shop and you can select who an esport team you want to win, and you place your bet. Done.
Well,
Well, I mean, the 5% is always going to ruin it for the rest. It's no matter where you go, no matter, there's always going to be the 5% that is going to try and ruin it for the rest.
Yeah. Do you know what game do you have the most hours in? I mean, the absolute most hours.
That would be
cumulative over the whole time you've played the game, whether you've taken a break for a couple of years or whatever. But the whole time you have played a game.
Can I just name a franchise? Because then it would be the Settlers franchise. They have Settlers 1 to 7. I started playing that in 1989.
good lord.
No, wait, 1980. Sorry, 1994. Sorry.
Okay. All right. I
was like, you're not that old.
I was gonna go with just one game, but that's fine. So how many roughly? 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000?
What does Steam tell you what game you've played the most?
It'll give you the hours for each game.
Yeah, it gives. Let's just scroll through this real quick.
What about you? While he's doing that, Haas, what game have you been? Would you say you've played?
Can you guess? What game have I been talking about nonstop lately? SimCity.
Mount your friends?
No, I haven't played that yet. SimCity, yes. And I'm looking at it right now. I've hit 1,454 hours.
Wow.
And I literally just started playing that game late 2013. So maybe a year and a half.
Yeah, I'm at 261 hours in Rust.
Okay. Red Mage is going to pull up his WoW character and give his hours. But here's a single user playing Crusaders Kings 2 has a total of 10,500 hours.
Say that again?
Has played 10,500 hours of the game.
What game?
Crusader Kings 2.
He's like, what game did somebody just waste all that time on? Let's see this.
What?
Yep.
Where are we?
No.
There it is.
Crusader Kings 2 is from Paradox Interactive, and they have it down as one person. To put that in perspective, that's 437.5 days.
Goodbye, year.
Yeah, right? Do you
Wow.
work? Do you, I want to know what you're doing so that I cannot
Yeah.
work and do that.
Red Mage says he's total time played on my Hunter 107 days, 16 hours, and 30 minutes. But this guy has got 10,000 plus hours. That, to me, is just simply insane. Now, this is a little bit of... This was a little factoid that they put out there during the visually celebrating the 3-year anniversary of the game's Valentine's Day 2012 launch. They count 99 hours as the average play time for all of the users who've played the game to date, which is rather, that's not bad either. But yeah, there's an infographic. I'll put the link to it in the show note into the chat for you guys to check it out for yourself. Oops, get the hell out of there. There we go. Go check it out.
Over there?
Because I can't get to, let me just see if I can pull this up to a larger size and get a better look at this infographic that they've got. Ah, damn you.
Fight it.
40% of the total actual real time that has passed since the game released 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
One person, 40%.
So he has been sleeping and playing. And eating.
Basically.
So,
That's what I'm saying.
So the song that has been created that's called Eat, Sleep, Play, Repeat, that's basically him.
That's his life.
Yeah, okay.
For 3 years.
Okay.
That's just all right. And I asked this to Chad as well. Is there any one game that you think you could devote that kind of time to, that you love that much, that you could devote that much time to?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
I have other stuff to do. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. I mean, I'm I could. What if I got like look at me? As soon as stream's over, I'm gonna open SimCity again. Like that's just like I can understand that addiction.
Yeah, I'm gonna run people over.
Yeah.
I have it ready. I'm looking at the play button.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Are you gonna?
Dude, he's like, what time is it?
Yeah, it's countdown. You got like 10 more minutes, bud, and then we're the fuck out of here.
Oh, no, we go on until we're done here. I'm having a good time.
Red Mage and I and G were talking last night about the new Just Cause 3 that's coming out, and when we showed the trailer, and which basically told us fuck all, except and the only good part was where he was in his wingsuit, gliding down. Red Mage put in today this post, 11 reasons why you should be excited about Just Cause 3. Now, I'm going to go through a couple and tell me if this really gets your blood pumping to play the game. Okay, Medici, which is the location where the game happens. That's one of the reasons why you should be excited about it. It's a crucial part of the Just Cause formula, is an exotic setting, and the new game continues that trend with the sun-soaked Mediterranean archipelago of Medici. It's vast, beautiful landscape with a lot more terrain variety than Penal. Along the coast, I see natural arches jutting out from the rocks, blah, 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 blah. We just had a travel monologue. Does the location of a game really make that much difference to you whether you want to play it or not?
No.
To me, only if I could choose to say, I'm gonna place my base right here. Otherwise, nah.
Nah. Okay. Next up, the Fire Leech. Now, I have no fucking idea what the Fire Leech is. It says the combat feels similar to the last game, but a little more chunky and satisfying. I tested a few of the weapons out, the pretty standard selection of machine guns, shotguns, and so on, but the best one was easily with a Fire Leech, an absurd missile launcher that can fire 8 rockets at a time. Hold the fire button and it locks on any nearby destructible objects or enemies. And then you let go. Let go and watch the fireworks. Now, weapons are usually, they're not a bad reason to want to play a game. Like, we can go right back to the BFG gun of Duke Nukem, the big fucking gun.
Give me the fucking duck hunt gun.
Yeah, Just
so it's kind of like saying, you know what, guys? I'm gonna put up a game on Kickstarter. It's gonna be an FPS, and you know what? It's gonna have weapons.
Whoa!
How about that?
Yes, yes.
And you're gonna make millions.
I'm gonna do that.
Give me all of your money.
Give me all your money. I'll give you guns. Well, there is actually a game out there, and I know because I've seen Dr. Death play it. And it's about guns. You like I can't. I'm not even going to try and okay. Back to the time played. Red Mage just rolled in. Polled my friend of 10 years in WoW. He's at 365 days and 10 hours. But that's over 10 years. That's I can accept. Anyway, back to Just Cause 3. The wingsuit. Now that gotta admit, this one's got me kind of, pumped for it.
Far Cry 4 has a wingsuit?
Yeah. Okay, well, come on, I'm still working on this game here. Along with a parachute and grapple, there's a third way for Rico to get around Medici, the wingsuit.
Rico.
You can transition into it any time, and its physics are so exaggerated and floaty that it's basically like flying. Seamlessly transition from the grapple to the parachute to the wingsuit feels really intuitive. I found myself ignoring my objectives and just floating around, flying gracefully through the underground caverns and emerging at the other side. I've never gotten this fascination with having a grappling gun as being a really cool mechanic, but I guess it's not bad. What about the flying suit? Does that do anything for you? Is that a reason to buy the game?
Not a reason to buy the game.
I know they're going to talk about, how immersive
Gameplay?
the story is, how good the gameplay is, how it's going to be really cool with co-op, and you can do new stuff that we can't even think about that we haven't tried before.
Okay, how about cascading destruction? Or as they're putting it, this sounds like a little more of those annoying game developer buzzwords like Battlefield's Levolution, but it's more. It really is the best way to describe how things explode in Just Cause 3. Destroying one thing almost always sets off a chain reaction, and the ensuing parade of fire, explosions, and crumbling physics objects is a sight to behold. This guy, he launched a volley of rockets from the fire leech into an enemy base, and it seemed to explode forever.
Right.
Sounds interesting.
That's that's much like when they first started talking about destructible items, like the proper destruction, not it breaks off in chunks, but literally when you hit a wall, it would implode and then out like you would naturally, right?
I'm looking forward to being able to go into a game with 4 chunks of, maybe a little more, but chunks of C4, place that around the foundation of a building, blow it up, and see the entire building go down.
Yeah, that would be kind of fun. Now, the other one is, for a lot of people, it comes down to also the visuals. And apparently, according to this guy, yeah, Just Cause 3 is a very pretty game. He asked Avalanche if they were giving any extra love to the PC version, and they said the water is being co-developed with NVIDIA, so expect some very fancy shimmering and undulating. The idea, they say, is to make the water vehicles more satisfying to use. Thank you muchly there for Nick CB for the donation. I really appreciate it, buddy. The idea, they say, is to make the water vehicles more satisfying to use with realistic wave physics to battle against.
Can I just say that that's exactly what I think. I'm in a game and I'm in some sort of craft. It doesn't matter what it is. But when I'm done and I get out and I'm where I need to be, that's my first thought. That was really satisfying.
Really?
No.
It's
just, I thought it was funny that that's how they described it.
Yeah.
That it was very satisfying. Like, that is what they chose. I don't know. That's what I want.
That's what I want. I want the warthog. I want the warthog. I want the warthog, and I want to go just creaming over buildings with the warthog. Oh, you mentioned C4. Oh, we're coming up with the sunshine.
Go into the light, Carol Ann. Uh-oh.
There we go.
Oh.
Oh, now we're back in the dark.
Wow. Can we get a red light special? Oh, look at that!
Hey! Red light special.
What?
There we go.
That's better.
Hey, bedroom.
You were mentioning your love of C4. Apparently, in Just Cause 3, you've got infinite C4. To help in the process of blowing absolutely everything up, Rico has infinite remote detonated C4. You can only place 5 at a time, right? And thanks to the cascading destruction thing I talked about earlier, the results are devastating. I guess this guy spent a large portion of his playing time strapping C4 to bits of enemy base and then wingsuiting a mile away, detonating, and watch it explode majestically. So you got your C4. Are you going to get
majestic explosions.
Yes.
Just take my money.
Just take your money.
Throws wallet at screen.
C4.
I will say, I don't know, Rico, he's kind of handsome. They've created a handsome character there.
They stole that from what was that the Naughty Dog series. Last of Us?
You know what? I mean, if we're gonna get on this vein of main characters here, yeah, I'd agree with that too.
Let's give Hasselhoff
rugged
5
man
minutes
thing.
to talk about, game characters that she has fallen
handsome
in love
game
with.
characters. This is my life.
Yes.
No.
Oh.
Don't judge me.
Okay, well, we'll wind up with some stuff that's leaked out about Witcher 3 because they've been pretty they've been pretty tight-lipped about, unless they want you to know it, we're not getting much else out of it. But there's one guy by the name of Shavad who's found some fans who played the game in advance and vetted some of the details with other information. Apparently there will be a wide variety of, and I must preface this, I'm looking really forward to Witcher 3. I like the Witcher series. I want to get my hands on Witcher 3 because I think it's going to be a blow-away game. So Dragon Age Inquisition better start banking its money because it's going to be gone once Witcher's out. There will be a wide variety of additional weapons you can pick up. This tier of weapons will require you be at a certain level. Weapons can degrade and be destroyed, including swords. You'll need to visit a craftsman to keep them in shape. It's a change for most of them, because usually if you got a sword, that thing lasts the whole game. It doesn't break, it doesn't wear down, it's perma-sharp. They're letting you do a lot of customization to your playing area, your HUD. There are going to be, this is what I'm kind of wondering about. They say there's going to be 4 or 5 skill trees with 5 tiers each. Each of those tiers, in turn, has 5 skills. Each skill has 3 to 4 levels to unlock. It will not be possible to unlock everything, so choose your skills deliberately.
Ooh.
So basically what they're saying is, once you go down a certain path, you better make sure that's the one you wanted to go down. Because unless you start off fresh, I guess. But what do you think about that idea? Of basically, saying, because in WoW, you can change, your skill path fairly easily.
I do like the fact in games that the decisions you make have a lasting effect. I think that too many games just allow you to switch back and forth all the time to not piss off people that play the game. I love that when you make a decision in a game, you would probably at a later point realize, okay, that was the wrong decision.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes, I do too, because you have to be in control of your character, and that's not something you see with a lot of games. You will also be able to pick up temporary companions who use different fighting styles. These companions will be useful in battle. The game will not be a walk in the park. Players claim that even on easy, you need to be careful if you want to survive. The enemy AI is very good. Enemies will parry crossbar bolts and shields. Groups of enemies like the wolves and the bandits will spread around to cut off your escape routes, and individual enemies will even offer themselves up as bait for your traps. They will become disorganized if you take out their leader.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
That's finally something that sounds new. Oh, that could be interesting.
There's sure. Oh, and the NPCs will be diverse, and each hut will look different from the inside.
Nice.
So they are definitely, I think, stepping up the game as far as an RPG game is concerned. And but my fear is, and granted, Witcher has a pretty good track record. My fear is that it's not going to quite make it all the way, and it's going to let us down at some point.
Now, do you have any basis for this fear, or is it just
No, it's just
like this feeling?
Yeah,
like you're like, it looks so good
Yeah.
that I'm afraid it's not going to be.
Yeah. Like, can a game actually live up to what it purports to do? Because not a lot of games do.
Well, here's the thing. They could either live up to the reports that, all of the information that they give you, yet the consumer will sit there and put it even higher, and I think that's where a lot of the disappointment comes from. Like, you may actually be getting exactly what they say, but I feel like a lot of people bring it up a step, and then they're kind of like, well, I'm not getting what, I'm supposed to get.
I do know that Witcher CD Projekt has publicly said that one of the hardest parts in any game is that initial training period for the player to get used to the moves, the fighting moves, the knowledge that you need. And what they've done in Witcher is that you come in as the main protagonist. You are in a mountain retreat or whatever, and you're basically retired, okay? And you have a young lady student, young girl student.
I love the game already.
Okay.
I.
No, but
Well
you're responsible to teach her
Ooh.
your knowledge when it comes to weaponry, comes to spells, okay? And yes, there is apparently a little bit of the naughty further on down the game. The interesting thing is, this young woman you train is you're doing it in such a way that you're learning how your combat mechanics work.
So as you teach her, you're actually learning.
That's right. The other side, interesting piece is she also becomes a playable character later in the game. Yeah, teach her how to mount her friends. Yes. Way to go, Empty Vials. Way to go, but I like you. You stick around. You're pretty good. Yeah. So what do you think of like what you're hearing about Witcher? Does it like kind of get you going, I actually want to see this game. I want to play this game.
I'm gonna try the game. The one thing there was one thing in that whole thing that I didn't like, and that was when you said you get to play that character later. I mean, when I have a game, I want to stick to one character. I want to build that character. I don't want, 50% into the game, switch to a different character.
You don't have to.
Okay, good.
That's
then I'm still aboard.
Yeah, that is a choice you are given later.
unless we can switch to the female character, get undressed, and switch back to the male character. Then it'll be all right.
Now, I don't remember. Is this the article? Because we had the article about the sex scene in the game. Is that from this game?
Yes.
What game was that from? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
There is actually there is some very adult-oriented material in the game, and they've made no bones about it. You will be able to have a love affair within the game, or more than one, depends on how randy you are, or Freddy, or whatever. Like everything I have heard about this game, and I keep on hearing, and whatever trailers I see or interviews I watch, I'm getting so excited about this game. And like I said, there's also part of me that is so worried that it won't live up to that hype. They will not live up to its promises. Now, here's a question, and this is what we'll end off the night with, and I'll ask chat the same thing. What was the last game that you got so excited for that let you down?
SimCity. So sorry, SimCity.
Why?
Because when I watched the trailer where they talked about how you can have two different cities and work together, that looks so intuitive. Like, you had two cities basically right next to each other, and you plunk down the nuclear power plant on a little island in between the two cities that would provide power to both cities. When I got into the game, you had these squares, and you could send buses to the other city, and you could get buses back. Fuck me, that was stupid. I mean, they totally hyped that in the trailer, like, okay, we built a nuclear power plant together. Where in the game can you build a power plant together other than these?
Behind that trailer? Like, that trailer was kind of the downfall of the SimCity launch.
Yep.
Like, the whole, like...
No, I don't know that story. But
Cranky can probably explain it better.
It made me, think, wow, that looks epic cool. Now I'm hyped. Now I'm ready. That's what we wanted I played all the SimCity games. This is what we wanted, like real co-op, building, cities along each other, having, as a friend, as a neighbor city, and do stuff together. And I feel like the whole co-op thing. Yeah, but the co-op thing in SimCity, I feel, is rubbish. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I feel, I missed the hype. I wasn't even on Twitch when I first started playing SimCity, to be honest. So I missed the fucking launch hype. I missed, everybody being disappointed. It was actually the very first SimCity game I've ever played. So I guess I'm a little biased because not knowing any of that bullshit behind it, I love the game. I used mods, but very rarely. I don't use them now. I don't have a huge problem with the game like everybody else did. But like I said, I missed the trailer. I missed this is what you're going to be able to do with it and what you fucking can't do with it. Which is one of the reasons why sometimes when we talk about some of these releases that are coming out, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, well, if I didn't know any of the news behind it, I would look at the game much differently. And that kind of concerns me sometimes because I'm like, there's probably games I won't play because everybody's, talking about it a certain way where I could actually love the game when somebody else thinks it's flawed. If I didn't know better. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. And I feel the exact same way about games in terms of what you just said that I feel about friends. Sometimes you'll encounter people saying, oh, that person is just, horrible, blah, blah, blah. I never take other people's opinions about others into, how to explain this in English, into my own ways. I give people a chance. I see who they are for myself and not really take in what other people say that much. Because I don't care. It's the same with wine. Somebody can tell you this wine is really bad and you can taste it and it's really good because the taste is different. What I do in terms of games is I look at, people playing the game, I look at a trailer, I look at some reviews for it, and then I make up my own mind whether I want to try this game or not. But that is based on, does it trigger my interest? People can tell me that a game is really, really bad, and, if it triggers my interest, I'm still going to play it.
Okay, Haas, what game that you were so excited about that ended up letting you down?
Well, that's hard to answer because I don't get incredibly excited about games coming out. That's a weird thing to say. That's not what I mean. I don't know. Right now in the back of my head, I'm worried that because I bought Civ BE because I'm a huge Civ fan. And I haven't been able to play it. And I'm still excited about it, but hearing people talk about it has put that seed in my head that I'm not going to enjoy it. And so that's probably the closest thing I can come to right now, even though I'm not 100% on that.
Well, I have to kind of stretch back a little bit for mine, and that is Duke Nukem. I love the original franchise. And when I heard that 2K Games had bought up the IP and were rescuing it, I was going, yes! Because this is the company that's behind Borderlands. This is the company that is behind Fraxis. This is that they've got to. They're going to do Duke Nukem right. And what did we get? A steaming pile of shit. That was a letdown. That was my game. Now we did have some in here Let me see. Warframe. Batman Arkham Origins. Really? That's a surprise. I'd have to scroll up for Diablo 3. Yeah, I can see that there's a lot of people who feel that way.
BioShock Infinite's in there.
Yeah,
Destiny.
Destiny, I think, is one that I think a lot of people were disappointed in, and are slowly turning that way. Because they're just, but it's suffering from the same MMO type disease, boredom, repetition, and boredom. You can only do so much grinding, and then it's just like, I can't keep doing this. So yeah, I don't see that. I don't know. Anyway, we are over time here, folks. We'll call this show to a close. I want to thank Hasselhoff for joining us, the gorgeous lady that she is. Shut up, John. I won't no back talk out of you. And for Rod D, man, thank you for joining the lineup as co-hosts. We're gonna get this whole OBS setup straightened out. I may have to make some new screens to work better. But thank you for joining us. I hope you had a good time tonight. And you will be back, I hope, and we will do this again with different co-hosts and having some fun, and hopefully people enjoy it. If you did enjoy this show tonight and you aren't following, please consider hitting that follow button, because that kind of helps us know we're doing something right. So until tomorrow, again, 12 a.m., 7 days a week, we're here. We will see you tomorrow. And everybody have a good evening. Thanks for joining us. But remember, game on.
Don't forget to mount your friends.
And swing that thing around.
That's helicoptering.
That's a thing.